Okay, so I thought that I would do a live stream, but since I just created this new channel, I've got to wait like a whole day. So I'm going to make this video. I was doing videos for a little while before, and I don't know, I get weird with videos, so I'm still getting used to it, but I want to try. Um, so anyway, welcome to my new channel, Rainmaker's Story World Adventures, because we're going to explore my story worlds that I have been working on forever. And I feel like now that I'm in my late 40s, actually, I'm finally doing something with it. Yeah. Kind of doing some art, kind of doing some writing. I'm actually taking writing classes, and so that's helping me move through my writer's block, my creative blocks. Um, yeah, so I don't know. I feel a little self-conscious because I'm talking to myself. Well, I'm talking to my fire lizard dragon here, Sapphire. He's sitting right behind the camera. I needed somebody to talk to, so I thought I would talk to him. Yeah, so I'm gonna put him back there. I have no idea if I'm actually gonna upload this video or scratch it and try again. But yeah, because my mind tends to go blank when I'm in front of a camera talking to myself. That's why I thought maybe if I go live and maybe people are there, it might feel different. Anyway, let's see. Let's begin with this. So I have 4 science fiction and fantasy story worlds. My eyes are going to move around because I'm watching myself in the camera, and I'm trying to talk to Sapphire and trying to look more at the camera. The little green dot right there. Okay, that you can see maybe my screen reflected in my glasses. Uh, um, my 4 story worlds. So the very first one that I came up with is called Emron. Emron, no relation to Enron. That's different. If you're old enough to know about that. And it is more of a Earth fantasy type of planet. It's the green planet. And then we have Viltron, the fiery volcanic planet. It is undead. It is Viltron 6 in its 6th generation. It's more futuristic kind of thing. Has a lot of stuff going on with AI and robots. I believe I started coming up with that one in high school. That would have been like the late 80s, early 90s. So it's really interesting because a lot of the things that I was talking about going on there at that time, we are now starting to see some of that developing. Oh my gosh, robot dogs. And then there is Shalustvar, which is the water kind of planet. It has no animal life. It has only plant and mineral. And we have a race, it's populated by a race of tree people that were not the original inhabitants. They came from another world and took the form of the dominant life form, which were the trees. So they became tree people that way. And then we have Tyr, T apostrophe RR, however you want to try to pronounce it. And it is yes, we're doing the 4 elements. It's the air kind of planet. It has cats, monkeys, and birds are the main races. Yeah. And haven't really got too much into delving into that one lately. That one I was working more on again, high school time. Yeah, if you have seen any of my videos from my other channel, Rainmaker's Journey, in that one I talk a lot about my past experiences in mental health and learning about neurodivergency and things like that. And you would know if you saw in those videos that I spent like 22 years of my life in 2 back-to-back toxic relationships, and I really didn't get into my creativity at all during that time. It was all about them. And about 3-4 years ago, I had a split with my last toxic relationship of about 10-11 years, and I started to get my creativity back, my interest coming back, and this has been part of my healing process, is getting back into my creativity and my story worlds. It's literally been a lifelong goal of mine to tell these stories and to write these stories and talk about these characters and do my artwork. I have a couple of things here. For example, this is one of 2 paintings. They're a 2-panel painting of Shalosvar. So this is something, we have these glass towers, and these are actually the tops of the towers. They run all the way down in the ground, and here are some, I forgot what I called them. I'll have to go back and look. But these are actually a tribe of plants. And you see these are giant flying dragon creatures. They're like plant dragons. Think about Venus flytraps or a bunch of Seymours, feed the Seymour, that are flying, and they eat the minerals that are in the morning heavy air. So that's interesting. So that's maybe like a short overview. Yeah, so that's I get really creative when I talk to other people about my story worlds. I have a really hard time being creative and coming up with things on my own. It's always when I'm in the process of sharing with someone what I have now so far, and as I'm talking about it, more comes to me, or I do really well with prompts, writing prompts. Like um, I had gone to a writer's circle recently, and the writing prompt was ash or ashes. And I had no idea what happened to this one character's mother until I started writing about ashes, and it came to me. Um, it came to me. She died, and she was on a funeral pyre. And there was the ashes on the pyre. I will read that excerpt. Actually, that's something I could do because I wanted to read my different excerpts of what I have. Different things. So let's see. To find it on my computer. Scrolling. So here's a little tidbit. The smoke rose gently upwards, being carried on the wind from the pyre. The ashes of Tomley's mother lay along the stones of the funeral pyre. Maybe some content warning. No, I don't think we have content warning, but I need to be mindful of that, and I will post content warning in the future, or announce that ahead of time. I'm going to start over. The smoke still rose gently upwards, being carried on the wind from the pyre. The ashes of Tomley's mother lay lay along the stones of the funeral pyre, some being swept up and carried with the wind, some charred remaining bones poking up haphazardly, without understanding why, but perhaps it was on impulse, or maybe instinct, the little girl stepped toward the pyre and reached out her small hand to touch the lightweight, gray, soft-looking ashes of her mother, mixed in with the wood she had been laid upon. No one yet observed her doing so, and no one saw her touch the ash-stained finger to her mouth, tasting the flaky gray matter. Tomley was only 4 years old, and now she was left with an angry father who little appreciated the qualities and special abilities his wife had possessed. So that is what came out of just a writing prompt to write about ashes. Um, and I don't have really good task initiation sometimes. That's like one of my neurodivergent qualities that I struggle with. So it's like I kind of need outside sources to move me forward on my creative endeavors. You say something like, can you write about, I don't know, anything, a winged serpent or something? And I promise I won't write about Quetzalcoatl, or however you say it, um, but I would come up with something unique. And so I do really well working off of writing prompts and sharing my ideas with people. Things just come up. And so I had thought for a long time, actually, I'm finally doing it. What if I found a community of people who might be interested in my stories, and we all get together and talk about that. And I'm really interested in other people's stories too. I'm not really sure where this is going to lead. I have had ideas, and I come to realize, it's like you can't really control sometimes the way that things will go. I'm not really sure. I just know that I want to just put my stuff out there and talk to people about it. And, way back in the day when I was in my 20s and I was bopping around Memphis and in New Orleans and going to coffee shops and sharing my sketchbooks with people and my notebooks with people, I had so much interest around me, and it was so cool, and I was so creative, and I had more of a freedom feeling in myself. I was not as self-conscious. And then, well, 22 years of toxic, narcissistic relationship abuse will really repress and stunt your creativity a lot, and can sometimes even give you mental health issues like borderline personality disorder, which in the 3 years of therapy I have had, I have recently been told by my therapist, nope, a review, I no longer am exhibiting any of those traits. So yeah, I just beat BPD, y'all. I'm going to have to do a video about that in my other channel now. Maybe this will kickstart me to do some more stuff. It's been months since I've done any videos. My last update was in April. On TikTok, maybe. So, um, yes, I'm warming up a little bit. Um, I'm going to tangent and randomly go all over the place sometimes until I have someone in a conversation with me to bounce off of. Um, I will go all over the place. That's just the thing. Um, but I don't know. I think that's about it. So you get the idea. That's what I'm doing. And yeah, so since going to coffee shops is not really a thing that people do anymore, especially I'm in the Pacific Northwest now. So yeah, people don't talk to each other unless it's an organized group that came out of a Facebook group or something. I don't know, meetup. Um, Maybe I'll try to organize that sometime. I don't know. But yeah, I'm not really good with that kind of thing yet, I guess, and I'm just kind of getting warmed up again to communicating with people about my creative things. So yeah, it's a new start. Here we go. Okay, I think that's it. 15 minutes. Good.